What's going on, everybody? You already know what it is. It's time for Street Fighter League Pro-JP 2021. It is episode 11, day number 1. That's right, we're rewinding the clocks to get all of these teams to play against each other yet again for their beatdown. My name is Vicious, here with my man Saint Cola, and we have quite the lineup for you all today. But I don't know if you guys have heard the news lately. We had a very special showcase going on with Capcom Fighters and Street Fighter V in general. It is absolutely time to talk about Luke, who will be joining us not too far from now. I do believe it is the 29th of November is when it will be available, but for the most part, this man is looking pretty damn sick.
It's absolutely ridiculous. I like how different his V-triggers are. I like how he has a little bit of execution and flavor, and he can be used, if they so choose, in the Street Fighter League, like starting today. Starting the 17th of December. You give us some time to get through with the character. So if the players so choose, they can use this character starting in December 17th. I hope somebody does it. I really hope somebody picks up this character and starts putting in a lot of work.
Oh, without a doubt. There's been so much that we've seen based off of the hands of the producers themselves, actually, from the video. The fact that he has what looks like just frame properties on some of his special moves looks pretty interesting. It leads to high damage scenarios pretty often, and he doesn't look too difficult to pilot. I'm personally really excited for him. But overall, yeah, he's going to be pretty much available to use as soon as he's released, essentially. But we got to look at the calendar, right? We're going to see what's pretty much in store for the rest of the season as we get ourselves ready for today's matches, right? We have Sai Shunkan Solo Kumamoto going up against Como Detonation, which you could expect for the first match, as well as V6 Plus FAV Rotoz and Shinobi-ism Gaming. We've talked about what's going on with a lot of these teams in terms of their current ranking, because, you know, as important as it is, we have the playoffs coming up pretty soon. St. Cola, why don't you give us a little tidbit about what's going on with the playoffs in January?
In January, as you said, and as you saw during the trailers, people, the playoffs will be happening. All the players from the 1st to 5th position, the first place is going to be situated in that fine spot. 2nd to 5th place at the end of the league will face off in the playoffs. The top 2 teams of the playoffs will move on to the grand finals, along with the first place of the league, and the top 2 teams of the grand finals will move on to the World Championship. That'll be happening later on next year. The World Championship has been announced during the trailer that we saw today, and they're still playing for this fat amount of prize pool right here, 8 million yen. I keep forgetting the translation to burger bucks, but I know it's quite a bit. Split between the team members, that's still a grip of money.
Yeah, the Burger Bucks kind of splits off pretty decently in a team of 4. Either way, it's a pretty good amount of cash. And yeah, we talked about the World Championships themselves, the Capcom Cup happening. It has actually been announced February 14th, good old Valentine's Day, an amazing day to spend with your loved ones. And if you don't have that, well, you have Street Fighter. Best time to do it, honestly. I don't mind it at all. No, it's funny because that's actually the same time that Street Fighter V came out. I remember vividly talking about it, but I also remember the beatdown that happened not too long ago between Milton Peace and FAV Rotoz. We see how it went down. It was a 3-1 victory for the V6 squad, who's been absolutely dominant thus far. And let's take a further look as to what happened as well between Gyokun and Nagoya Ojo Body Stars coming up after this. From what it looked like, you know, Milton Beast, they tried to put it together, but it happened to be the same kind of results between Gyokun and Nagoya Ojo Body Star in terms of getting a 3-1 victory.
Yeah, Ojo Body Star coming out in the lead right there. Dogor sealing for his team against Mizuha. An exciting indie match right there. But then even after that, I also felt like, you know, MOV finally getting that win was super important against Moke. Now moving on to Shinobi-ism Gaming versus Combo Detonation. Speaking of last wins, or I guess it's to say first wins, Otani coming out on top 3-1 over Tachikawa for his team in the anchor spot, bringing back the Akuma. And then Good 8 Squad, the 4-0 right there. Clean sweep from Good 8 Squad's side. Oh, it's disgusting. Kawano sealing the deal against Nemo in a decisive match. And that was sick. So if y'all forgot or need to get a reminder, go ahead and hit those VODs and check out what happened, because that action was absolute fire.
We got a full-on sweep again from Grenade Squad, which isn't the first time we've seen it, but it is the first time we've actually seen Yanai get completely demolished. That was actually one of the bigger stories going on in that matchup itself. But Grenade Squad still maintaining their lead in first place, followed by Shinobi-ism Gaming in second, V6 Plus FAV Rotoz in third, Nagoya Oja Bodystar in fourth, as well as Gyogun in 5th place. Now, the bottom three, Build on Beast in 6th place, Saishun Console Kumamoto in 7th, and Camouflage Detonation in dead last. They're going to get their chance to score a couple of points today with their matches, as we see, I believe, two of those teams being put on the chopping block right now. Again, Saishun Console Kumamoto facing off against Camouflage Detonation is what we can expect for our first match of the evening, morning, wherever you may be. Heck, even middle of the day. But yeah, we're going to see Saishun Console Kumamoto versus Camouflage Detonation. Who needed the most right now? As you can see from the current charts, it's been a real battle for Camouflage Detonation. That teal blue, as well as Soul with the orange. They've been spending a lot of time at the bottom, but we still have, what, just about 8 days, 7 days left now?
You see also Build on Beast had trended upward for a bit, but went down with it, now below that line, struggling to stay on top. And you know, they got to be able to work out here to get above that red line to stay fine. We talked about how you want to be in the at least the second to fifth positions. In the first Grenade Squad, they stay in absolutely fine. And y'all can see a little bit of what had went down with some of these teams up on this screen right here, some of the replays and having the reactions and stuff like that. But going back to these matches, going back to how desperate some of these teams are fighting, the points are starting to get a little bit more drastic between, you know, the red line and you know, the people below. So it's do or die, especially the teams that are on the bottom of the feeding squad right here. It's unfortunate for them. They have to fight. We're seeing Detonation go up against Soul, and as you said before, like they're at the bottom. They need to get more points, but it's getting long. Like there's not that too many days left to fight.
Yeah, no, this is where all the points pretty much count, right? I mean, like, going forward, how many more games do you have before your playoff contention spot is no longer valid? Like, your teams are pretty much crushed. You gotta find it out real soon. In the meantime, let's take a look at Camouflage Detonation, led by the sturdy breadwinner, Inabashi Zangief, who needs to be doing a lot of that breadwinning now. And speaking of now, we got Naumann, the incoming Sakura, completely unintentional, but I'll tell you what, he's been using that Ken pretty damn well, on top of having Johnny Takeuchi, Johnny Tag, with that ever-impressive Rashid and Cody, and of course, the returning monk, Tachikawa, looking like a Big Mac, with that Poison and Chun-Li and Honda. But right now, actually, we haven't seen too much of that Honda overall, but Tachikawa still trying to find his bearings in Street Fighter League. He played as Chun-Li the last time, but didn't do so hot against Shinobi-ism Gaming.
Gonna have to work out here. Soul, the sun has been shining on this team, but not so much. The Violence Emperor coming through. Nemo himself right behind is going to be the Violence Clerk, only dealing in damage. Shuto was actually super defensive too with that Urian pick. Then we've got the Wild Child out here. Nishikin coming through with the Blanca. Electrifying. The most electrifying person in the room. And last but not least is the young president. Vote for him. It's Yanai, who is super sick with it and a big fan favorite. Let's see how these teams deal when their heads are on the chopping block. We already talked about how desperate they have to fight for the points. I feel like it's as we said, do or die, but we're going to see that in the gameplay. We're going to see them you know, fighting even harder. I'm definitely also feeling like that strategy is going to be even more depth because they know what it do. Team Detonation already had the win last time. Let's see if we're going to see a reverse of that situation.
Yeah, this is a situation where we had, what, like Nemo, Nishikin, and Shuto, and Nemo was actually the only one that got a W, and it was a very ill-fated one, I think, for the two captains. Nemo and Itazan absolutely adore each other to pieces, and it was such a heartbreaking match, and they couldn't bear to do it again, possibly, but who knows? We do have the away team who have to set up their players accordingly. They have to submit their roster, their player roster, and their character selection. I'd imagine Nemo would not want to go up against Itazan again. Absolutely no way. And I mean that with the utmost sarcasm. And as it stands right now, it's going to be Naumann first, Itazan second, J-Tag, Johnny Takeuchi in third with Cody. So let's get this out of the way now, Seikola. Nemo, is absolutely going second.
Yeah, I feel it. I want to see it. He wants to see it. He's got to get his revenge. This is a rivalry that they've had for so long, and let's hope he makes a deal against Itazan. I definitely want to see the rematch and run back. But let's see what Nemo will be saying out here as we get a little bit of their conversation. Home discussion is going through to see what they're going to send up. Looks like the timer's already up on the discussion right there. I would love to see that, but I also love to see Yanai go against some of these picks too as well. I think Yanai could do pretty similar well against Naumann. It may be a difficult matchup on paper, but I think Yanai's playstyle would be really well in calming down the wildness of Naumann in terms of, you know, like how Sakura wants to play in aggressiveness. But overall, I'm definitely looking forward to that second match the most. I definitely want to see Nemo come through because he's always got something to say to Itazan after and before the fact.
You know, I would love to see maybe Shuto take on Naumann this time around. I mean, the last time he played against his team, he was the anchor and faced off against John Takeuchi. So maybe a slight switch up. That's what I like to see, actually. Shuto going up immediately against Naumann to run it back. It leads me to believe that Nemo might want to go up next, right? That's going to be pretty obvious. But now I'm talking about, like, I'm kind of curious about the final member of the team, who's going to go up last. In fact, Nemo was telling Yanai to relax and not to be so nervous, so I'd imagine he won't be playing too much. And that's actually confirmed. Yanai is on the bench for the team. As we see a brand new graphic to show how many points the players have won for their respective teams and how often they've been up to play. And it seems like Shuto has only gotten 1 W in the, 8 games that he's played.
Yeesh. A little bit of a losing streak. But this could be the return overseas. You could see him come through. It is kind of wild to also think that Nishikin is going to be as the anchor pick with the Blanca that hasn't seen so much success either. So Shuto has not gotten a win since the first episode. Since the very first episode, it's been all losses. Today could be the W. On the other hand, there's been quite a few wins on his opponent's side. Naumann with looks like 3 wins and 3 losses, so dead even. It's kind of wild to go back to Nishikin being the possible anchor pick if Nemo decides to go up against Itazan, which he probably will. We'll have to see what happens with that later on. Shuto versus Naumann. Tell me about this match. What do you think is going to happen here?
So it's going to be Urien versus Sakura, right? Considering Naumann is locked in by his choice, it's not going to be something like Ken. I think he's going to be doing pretty well. I think I do like Sakura's lights in control of a lot of what Urien can do and what Urien's trying to poke you with. That single normal is so good for Sakura. Standing short, buffering into uppercut can be a big deciding factor as to how often he could, how often Naumann can put someone like Shuto in the corner. But it's not as shallow as that. It's a little bit more than that, right? Shuto does have access to a fireball. He has ways to kind of get even closer to make it worse for a Sakura player to buffer out, stand short. I do like Shuto masking his charges a good amount of the time to get you thinking, oh, he doesn't have any sort of tackle, he doesn't have any sort of headbutt, or even like a violent knee drop stored up. I think Shuto is going to be challenging the neutral, but just not as much. I think Naumann is going to have a very comfortable start in neutral. We're going to see what Shuto has to kind of stop Naumann from getting his offense started too early.
I think it's a fair assessment. I agree. Now going on to the home team trivia, the theme is about what do they envy about their teammates the most. Nishikin says Shuto and Yanai are so young. Yanai says Nishikin is always a mood maker for the team. Shuto says Nemo is tall, and Nemo says Shuto has good talent in cooking. Like, those are all great things. I especially, as an older person, envy the young. You know, they get out of bed, they don't have to hold their back, you know, they ain't hurting and stuff like that. They don't have to pay taxes, and they stand fine. Let's see how the young guns do in this match.
What? Why is that correct?
They do, but you know, maybe not as much as
I was gonna say, like, maybe they're not quite independents yet, right? They're still It depends on where, I guess, but that's actually pretty valid. Like, if they don't have to pay taxes, it's like, damn, that's bars. You spit.
Shuto's gonna block another corner. Yeah, there's that light kick that you were talking about, looking buffering, trying to find something, trying to find a nice little confirm. Just got that crouching medium punch, you might get got.
and you saw the counter hit from the side of Naumann, but he wasn't comfortable with that, right? He feels like, you know, even if it was a counter hit, oh boy, it wasn't going to be something to buffer out in the corner, just in case. But this is great for Naumann. We see Shuto pretty much put himself in the corner with that EX tackle, and this is exactly where Sakura shines. We're going to see a good amount of damage being pumped out. You have to take that throw, because if you get caught, that's what I'm talking about. You might face big damage.
Good chase down right there too. So aware and awake with that light to chase down the EX knees. All that damage on the side. For Shuto, he's got to find the activation point. One good crouch community kick will do it. Swinging out the big, long, lanky limbs. EX activation. Here we go. Walks it out. Oh, the fadeaway. Finds a hit. One more touch will do it. Another mirror too. I want to get one free.
Oh, the overhead is blocked, but he can't do anything about it. Still walking up, getting the grab. Shuto scoring first blood in the first round of game 1. You know, we were talking about that neutral. I was talking about it a lot. I think, you know, Shuto does a fantastic job of just wearing down Naumann in the neutral and just throwing in those ambiguous dashes. The timing has been really superb in terms of catching Naumann off guard.
There's that light buffer that you were also talking about too. Finds a confirm, trying to get that corner carry going. Some of the issues that, you know, you see, oh man, as soon as I say something, the light comes through in the clutch, finds a confirm, trying to get the chase down. Heavy kick anti-air. I like that little walk away, finds a heavy EXDP in play from Shuto, trying to put him in the corner. Back though, Naumann's got the bar to cook with.
Ooh, that's how you feel today? Naumann actually bit his lips on that one. He's like, yeah, I'm cooking. That was great. Jump back jab and instant overhead. That was smooth.
Don't you forget about the fact that many characters have that ability, especially on tall characters like Urian. So, not something you usually see, but now I'm putting this character with great effect and runs the EXDP, crush off the heavy kick, the V-skill corner carry, DP ender right there, racking up the damage. This is not where you want to be, caught in the carrot in the corner with only no 3-frame in a slow DP. The V-shift, you're just gonna die tired.
Man, Naumann already making quick work of Shuto in the corner. Look at the life deficit right now. And the fact that Shuto used that V-shift earlier, damn, that's far. What kind of V-break is that? That was mad far. Oh my God, the confirm to the mirror. We got to see the reset. No reset at all. It's like going for the damage.
Get mirror. One more touch. EX knees.
Do it
Does
again.
it again.
He has one more. He could do it again if he wants to. Uh-oh. Oh, you already know.
Might have been a drop input.
Oh my God, 33 seconds left, and just one more touch really off of a medium or a roundhouse is really more than enough. Naumann trying to keep him away. Yeah, charge fireball, pretty good to keep Shuto honest.
But careful one. Good, no! Didn't have the help though. He was slathered in that armor, but it was Naumann that was cooking.
That's what he wanted the whole time. He's like, yeah, you're gonna put yourself in this situation. I'm still gonna throw out this charged fireball. It doesn't matter. It's cooked to perfection. Naumann actually has done a really solid job of taking care of all the risks with Shuto. Like he knows what he's capable of and is still not afraid to move on forward and get rid of any of the ambiguity when it comes to like EX tackles and whatnot. Naumann's escaped a lot of danger just from like EX tackles in general, and his defense against Agent Effector has been somewhat solid.
Then you got the worry of the standing heavy kick like this, the crush counter, the V-skill push, the light kicks, and the crouch kick confirms all the neutral is being played very well by Naumann. I like the wake-up decision though from Shuto. Runs the lights and gets the headbutt for that mid-screen corner carry, and is building up that bar at the bottom for V-trigger. In any of the situations, he could make that comeback. Shuto, if he can get a little bit more off the V-trigger, I feel like this will be a lot more even matchup.
Back throw, this is a huge changer, right? Getting the activation off the EX Tatu, many plus frames as possible, and of course the tackle comes through instead from Shuto. What a backdash! What a time to read that throw from Naumann.
Gotta finish the play. Nice back away, crouch mini kick fireball in play. The distance that he stands at makes Shuto miss, and now he's sitting at set point.
Looking really strong for Naumann right now. Just good situational awareness, knowing full well that Shuto was going to be eager enough to spend that bar. Exactly what I was talking about earlier, right? Just being so risk averse and understanding when Shuto wants to overextend. And what a time to jump in as well. Great reaction. Naumann in full control, looking for that stunt early.
Trying to get that last bit. The challenge up from Shuto. Swinging out some of these fists, but saw the recovery. This is done. This is done. Dog, you a chef? It don't matter. I'm cooking. Naumann in the kitchen and finds the win 2-0.
Sakura wins.
He just walked in. He's like, I'm the sous chef today. You're gonna have to take a seat, Junior.
How old are they? The same age? Is Naumann older?
I have no idea, actually. I'd imagine they're within the same age range, but like specifically, I have no idea. Either way, both are pretty young in terms of getting their cooking degrees, honestly. I think Naumann showed us today what he can do in the kitchen. Shuto bringing the wrong ingredients to the table today, falling a little short, 0-2. A great way to start things off if you're Camouflage Detonation in terms of momentum. And this is the matchup that's coming up now. Itazan maybe going up against Nemo. Who knows? But in the meantime, let's take a look at the stats. Naumann, look at the amount of 100% this guy has. He's a stellar academic. Look at that. That is A+. Or I guess S if you're, in Japan. S is a pretty solid rank too. 2 out of 2 in terms of anti-air, 1 for 1 in terms of EX reversals, or invincible reversals, I should say. That's Sakura looking real clean. Shuto, on the other hand, a little lackluster, right? 25% in anti-air, but still 100% in terms of invincible reversal. Not too shabby, but just not enough to get the points. Now, do you think, St. Cola, that it's time for some Nemo on Itazan action? Look at this man's face. Look at the determination and the glare.
I feel like part of him doesn't want to play this matchup because if it all goes downhill in a 1st and 2 situation against Geef, it may not be great for him. The content that Itazan going to make from him could be disgusting. At the same time, this is your rival, and you got to shine. Let's see if he comes up. Wait for the discussion, wait for the decision. I really hope it's him. I want to see the fight again because that was one of the fights that they had. It was Nemo that took it over Itazan, I believe, the last time they played. Yes, and Nemo asking Nishikin if he knows why he was picked for the team. Why is Nemo asking this right now? He's asking him why. Do you know why you picked for this team? And I wonder if it's for this particular matchup right here because Blanca can do fairly well against Geef. He's been reserving him as a secret weapon against Geef. I knew it.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Look at Nemo's face too. He's been scheming. This dude has been absolutely scheming. The last time they met, Nemo actually dismantled Itazan in a game that was 2-1, and now he brings it over to Nishikin's table. He's like, you know what you were born to do. This is exactly why I brought you on the team. And Nishikin responds in kind, saying he's been playing against Itazan a lot, and they probably know each other's playstyle at this point. You can imagine both being very much so acquainted with each other for a multitude of Street Fighter games. From what it looks like, Nishikin has another chance to face off against one of his homies and maybe get another W on the board for his team. As it stands right now, he's only scored 1 point for his team as well. We've seen that kind of similar statistic from Shuto. So maybe Nishikin can find some solace in this matchup, not be as nervous, and find the W overall.
I would have loved to see, the run back, but it makes sense. Like as soon as he said, why you brought on this team, I was like, okay, well, there's a reason, and it's the smartest reason. I think having the V-Skill 2 from Blanca can check a lot of the approach from Geef, full screen, find some damage he confirms, and build up that bar real quickly. And if you're not careful on defense, you're gonna get got as Zangief. I've seen them play a few times on CFN. Obviously, this is a different stage. This is stadium status out here. But I like him using him as a secret weapon against a Geef player. Like that V-Skill is going to be a real problematic. Let's see if Itazan went to the lab and found something, but it's going to be difficult for him. Ain't gonna lie.
No, without a doubt. We've seen the kind of record that Nishikin has, right? His only win was against another Zangief through the hands of Kichi Palmu. He happened to take it down 2-0, and the way that he controlled that pace on that day is very significant to talk about because of the fact that he was able to steer away from Zangief, pretty much utilize that V-Skill that we were talking about earlier to build that V-Gauge, as well as outpoke Kichipamu a good amount of the time. And even though he played it patient, there were certain moments where he actually got solid mix-ups and happened to take advantage of Zangief in a knockdown state, right? Zangief doesn't have anything to stop his opponents from meeting him properly, right? There's no invincible reversal that Zangief could possibly pull out other than critical arts. So when the knockdown happens, Nishikin can take full advantage of that. And as we get ready for the matchup, again, we had the trivia going down. Now it's the away team trivia, where the players pretty much give a compliment to their other teammates or something they're jealous about. I believe that's the topic, right? It's the theme is what do they envy about their teammates. So Tachikawa says Inazan always smiles and he likes it a lot. That's actually the most wholesome thing. And I agree with that. Inazan says Tachikawa is very good at talking. John Takeuchi says Naumann is always very determined at what he's gonna do, which is ever so important as a young gun. And Naumann says there's nothing he's jealous of others. He is himself. That's bars. That's actually bars.
There's fire. I ain't jealous of nobody. I'm already at the top. I mean, when you were Evo champion, you can speak that. You can speak that. All right. Now, all right. You know, you done also put the work for the team also, so you can talk that talk right there. But back to this match, let's see what Itazan do. Man, I do feel like when Itazan be smiling though, I don't know if it's always, pleasantries. You know what I'm saying? Because this dude be running the mix on you. It don't matter if he's getting hurt or not. He's always smiling, and it's deadly. That's why I also think that he might have something different in this matchup too. Like, you know, they play each other so many times, and coming to Street Fighter League, it's like, okay, cool. They're probably gonna run this against me. They saw that I have issues with V-Skill too, just on paper. So let me see what I can do against this matchup. V-Trigger from Geef could help out to get that pull me closer kind of situation and get the mix started. Blanka doesn't have a 3-frame. You don't have to bust out with the EXDP kind of situation and force him to maybe run that V-bar for a V reversal or V-shift. So it'd be back and forth in terms of meter management. Who's got the best of it in the first two situation? Good luck to both of them.
See how it plays out. Inazan, Zangief, of course. Nishikin with that Blanka patented. We're going to see how it plays out. Can Nishikin score another W against another Zangief main? Or will Inazan find his way into SPDing the Wild Child into the pavement? We'll see what happens. Here we go. Nishikin is still controlling the pace so well. These block balls have been such a pain for Inazan. That's a big punish. And still gets the meaty Cyclone. Ugh. Into SPD. Now it's going to be Inazan in full control. Can he get a reset? Instead, EX Morse Dynamite. Another meaty situation. EX up ball instead from Nishikin, not afraid. That V-Skill 2 now charged up. Inazan has to play at Nishikin's pace, especially after the trigger activation. Ooh.
Piece to the armor, Nishikin coming through. The flex won't save you. All those hits that do it, Nishikin able to save that bar and get going with it. That V-Trigger is so hard to deal with when you only really have the flex to fight back. You can use V-shift to kind of stay solid against it, especially when there's openings. If they tries to go for the cross-up, it's not really a true block string. But that flex will come into play, as we see right there, to deny some of the approach of the buttons and the block ball. If it's close enough, he's got the activation on deck. Like that, nice little punish right there. Not the best, but you still get some damage on the deck though.
Oh, that is a huge jump in. Even though it was only a light conversion afterwards, he still managed to get himself out of the corner, which is exactly what the mission was. He understood that he needs to get out of the corner quick, and still getting another jump in. Nishikin 2 times in a row, another set of V-Skill charges. It's going to be so tough. Itazan still has his trigger already activated. It's just a matter of how he wants to spend it.
Goes him closer for the SPD. There we go. There's one. There's two.
Oh my God.
There's part the bottom for a reversal for Nishikin. Goes for the V-shift, get some distance. V-skill again, max range. Wait for that trigger to wind down so you can use the V-skill too a little bit more. Still, he's caught up in the corner, Vicious.
What a way to stop the Rumble Ball. Raw activation there from Nishikin. You can imagine he's going to try to close the gap with a Blanka Ball or use it to punish Itazan for using the flex. Oh, the mixes. Yeah, he's just testing out the waters a little bit. And just like that, Nishikin catches Itazan off guard. Even Itazan laughing in pain. He's masking his pain with his smiles, Sankola. That's the thing, being able to smile through everything doesn't necessarily mean he's happy. Did you see that? My man laughed it off like, man, like what else am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to show you my personal anguish? Nah, son. I'm here to smile. Make you think otherwise.
Man said, haha. Man said, haha, teehee. I'm having fun. I'm having fun with against this blocker. I'm having fun with this V skill 2 full screen that he's putting on me. I'm having fun not being able to find a way to deal with the blocking balls except for like a heavy kick if I'm close enough. I'm having a great time dealing with this wild child, this wild not mild out here with Nishikin coming through, mixing me up with the V trigger. I'm having a blast. What are you talking about? But this does look difficult. You see the difficulty, the V skill 2 locking down the neutral consistently.
Yeah. What's wild about that as well, there was a situation where Nishikin did wake up V-shift to get himself away from the threats, like any sort of, guessing game involved. He immediately used V-skill 2 and found himself at like half the gauge already. Like near instant, because he was still able to get triggered so quickly. I was like, how in the world did that even happen? Look at the amount of bar he builds up off of V-skill 2. It's actually kind of impressive.
And that's going to help out too if you need to use some of that for an escape option, and still have V bar to activate V trigger later on. That's going to definitely help out. You see him just canceling ever so often. That's also the good thing about that is that you can just kind of get that cancel, and then you don't have the fastest dash from game to worry about, but you do have to worry about the fact that you're caught up in the corner, back against the wall, and you might fall. We out of there with the EX Rainbow Ball. Ugh, finally confirmed. Get the knockdown. Oh, this looks painful.
Look at the amount
this
of
looks painful.
Oh, just a jump, empty jump at that, getting the light SPD. Doesn't get a milky situation after that at all. But it's gonna be fine. Yeah, Nishikin does have trigger on deck. It's just a matter of how he wants to activate it. He goes with one, but damn, you can't armor through that. Body made is still trying to conduct electricity.
That V-scope, full range right here. Tries to find and if you find a confirmed full screen, it might be the job well done because he's got that V-trigger on the deck. Sweet punish.
Oh,
not enough bar to find a finish. Just get back in the way. I like that. Hit and run, hit and run. Don't show me your license plate.
V-skill 2 charges up. Yeah, here's it again. He was on a man. How many times has he been caught with that stray Blanca ball? Like he's been getting caught with movement so many times just with the raw Blanca ball. It's been pretty impressive from Nishikin getting the offbeats that Idizan wants to move at.
That's the difficulty too. You're trying to walk and charge. Oh, good read though. Find the jump in. EXSPD. This is how we begin. You're at the casino. How much weight did you bring? Need to call up in the corner. She's gonna find a way out. This rainbow ball would be great. Life savings too?
Yeah, I feel like Nishikin is the type to bring the entire savings to the casino and get it all on roulette. With the forward throw now, applying more pressure. Yeah, he might. That's the thing, right? Pet Big winded. He's still too.
I think this was a really good bet from Nemo.
The
chase down. He's got the super bar at the bottom though. Hold this throw. That's a one-touch situation. Nishikin opens him up. Yeah. You're definitely dead. Oh, the drop though!
No.
Too far out. Vicious. Oh.
That is an unfortunate series of events. That has to pump up Idizan. If there's any time to make that comeback or amass that comeback, it is now, especially after what just happened. Do not let your boy Naumann down. That is a gift from the gods, if you ask me.
Take that, unwrap that, and don't return it. I like the flex into the heavy kick for a slight punch in the walk-down situation. Idizan using these, even if you're not getting a lot of hits, you're just walking Nishikin down to the corner and trying to find moments like this. EXSPD down the ground. Don't have the space to go for the B skill, can't get annoying. He's caught up in the corner. EXSPD catch against the blocker ball. I love that.
He actually did it again. He went for a Borscht Dynamite, just missed the input. He almost caught Nishikin jumping away. That would have been so beautiful to watch. Went for the blocker ball and killed the madman.
It's Wild Child. Can't tame the beast.
Oh my god. Yeah, Nishikin is still trying to build up that V gauge. using that VCL, building a little bit of meter for himself as well. He's looking for maybe like a confirm or trying to dwindle down the life bar a little bit from Itazan. He's willing to play this long-range game too. Itazan backing up. He has the life lead with 30 seconds to go. He's like, you know, I'm going to force you to come to me.
That medium push does work, but so is this crouching fierce to that face. The crush into the super. Put him in his place in. She can, I think, the lead right here. No, still, that's a big point. That Blanca might be eating through all the fat, though. Oh, the interruption on the beast trigger activation. Nishikin pop it off like he in the jungle.
This guy, Nishikin, immediately, as soon as he got the W, he put his hands up in the air. He's like, boss, did I do good? He would say,
the secret weapon. What is Nemo doing? Oh,
he's doing the shoulder crank. He's doing the Itazan shoulder crank. These guys, look at Itazan, man.
Oh,
he's just smiling through it, man. He's trying his best out here.
I'm not hurt. I'm not hurt.
leave the poor fella alone, man.
Oh, what a match! But what a decision from Nemo to have this character come through in the clutch with the V skill 2. We see right here. Perfect in terms of the reversal situation on the side of Nishikin, and didn't land all the anti-airs right there. He got jumped in on 1-3, 33%, 1-3 on the side, also on Itazan. But the V skills were clutch, and even after that big drop, he was able to stay solid. After that super drop, listen, I would have dropped my controller right there and said, I'm done. But Nishikin stayed in the game. Itazan was able to take back the momentum, and it's a victory on the side of Seoul.
And now we're in a very interesting predicament, right? Now that the two games were out of the way and it was tied pretty much, you know, 1-1 on both ends in terms of points, it's come down to this for the anchors. Who will net themselves 3 points to boost them up into the rankings? We've seen how significant all these points and all these matches are getting closer and closer to January. Nemo versus John Takeuchi, a matchup that we didn't see coming, just considering the fact that, you know, Itazan and Nemo have pretty bad blood, all jokes really. It's not really a serious feud, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Nemo's Urien / Gil going up against John Takeuchi's Cody. Very excited to see it overall. And it's going to be the Urien pick, actually.
Yeah, as we said before in the previous episode, that Nemo just doesn't feel so well with the Gil pick all the time. He has been doing a lot of work, and when he does pull up the character, it's not always a W. They're hard fought. You do see that he's got couple of wins right there, more than a couple of wins, but same on the side of John T right here with the Cody, who has been running this character mainly just Cody. I have not seen the Rashid come through in the clutch. And if we look back at what happened previously, John T did beat Shuto's Urien, but Nemos is definitely a different beast. Nemo says he's pretty excited to face J-Tac here in such an important match. He's feeling very confident about his victory. That's good to hear.
So we'll see how it plays out, right? Again, we've seen the matchup before in the first half of the season. Detonation taking it down 3-1. They're in that situation to do so again. It's just a matter of who is confident, or who is more confident over the other. I think Nemo, again, feeling pretty confident overall with that Urien play. He's been practicing, like, you know, he's been going back and forth with both Gil and Urien, but with the W, the important W, and the plan actually coming to fruition against Itazan, I'd imagine Nemo is like, you know what? I'm feeling like $1 million right now. I can take out anybody. John Takeuchi also having a very stellar performance from the last episode. I think he's still carrying on that momentum from that W. We'll see if it plays out. A big opener, standing medium punch into the roughing kick for John Takeuchi.
That medium punch right there, the crouch medium punch addition this time. The throw, caught up in the corner, finds the crush off the crouch fierce, hitting with the ruffian. Crouch fierce again, the EX, the stun and done. If you talk about confidence, I see it in this match. Giant T definitely came to play. Nemo not even able to activate what makes Urien so special, and that's the V trigger. Got first one to John T.
Giant T looking real clean right now. This guy has been on fire since his last couple of matches. John Takeuchi actually hasn't lost a single game since those 2 days ago, actually. From, what was that, on Monday, the 15th? This guy has been on fire.
Pure heat right here. And we're trying to squash that. Nice neutral jump, trying to delete the activation. Does it again on the throw. EX Edition finds a finish. Nemo with the calls. I like that he's so aware. He's like, dog, I know what you want. It's disgusting with the V-trigger activation. No, sir, not me, not today. You ain't gonna grip me up. I'm gonna stay in and play.
Oh my god, that was so sick! John Takeuchi actually interrupted air to air, knowing full well Nemo was gonna jump, continued on with a whirlwind shot, and that was all he needed to really get that damage and the corner carry. That was disgusting.
That's sick. Look what he can do. That's John T knowing this character inside and out. Definitely made this more of a main than just a side piece. EX gets the knockdown off the chariot tackle. Nemo using long lanky limbs to kind of rule the neutral right here. Here's the activation. No, V-reversal. Nemo using offensively and keep him caught up in the corner.
Woo. The first one to make him bleed since last week. Nemo with a very convincing round number 3, despite the amazing opener that John Takeuchi's had in multiple rounds. That jump in medium punch air to air, landing into the whirlwind shot for Nemo, that was so sick. But it didn't lead to that W. It didn't lead to scaring Nemo at all. He's feeling some type of way after Nishikin's victory. And again, this is the first time we've seen John Takeuchi lose a game. Oh, if he ran into if the whirlwind shot was still active, that would have been so godlike. But yeah, the first time we've seen John Takeuchi bleed.
I do like him standing out more of these ranges where, you know, Yuri can play out with the medium punches and the fierce, but I also like John T being an end fighter right here, getting that corner carry at the up roughie. Makes him hold the throw, a little bit of delay on that too as well. No toe tap here. Ugh. Finds a shimmy, the finesse and bless. Puts him to rest. John T with the quickness, always with the first rounds. Let's see how it goes down the next one though, because I feel like Nemo's like, okay, I'm gonna read your rhythm. I'm gonna get into you.
Takeuchi immediately letting the medium rapid kick rock, trying to catch Nemo off guard. Still, yeah, kind of staying within that mid-range game. Oh my god, John Takeuchi just controls that space so well, knowing full well what the options are for mid-range game, and anti-airs perfectly, and getting himself out of so many situations against Nemo's offense. It's looking clean. Rebel ruffian kick now. Tick throw, forward throw.
Throw. Oh, with the quickness, John T got it. Finishing up with the ruffian, evening out the score 1-1. This is looking real good for John T, because I feel like now he's starting to acclimate and deliberate on what Nemo be trying to do. He's trying to run the anti-airs, the jump-ins, and things like that, neutral jumps, denying them with the up ruffian, almost fell the fireball a few times, and getting in close for that pressure so he doesn't have to worry about those medium punch buttons stuffing his approach. Also, the sway becoming through too as well. Oh, didn't finish the combo, but still, the jumping on the crouch fierce.
Conversion off of the lights, and just a great sequence overall for John Takeuchi. Being within that medium range, and Nemo trying to get a couple of dashes in, but still the counter poke there from John Takeuchi with the crouching medium, still blocking. He's still harassing. John Takeuchi has not let go of his mark. And speaking of now, Nemo does give him the cha-cha slide, getting rid of the throw. Big bait now to the throw. The sway coming through for the violent knee drop. John Takeuchi.
That sway has been put in work. We see some of the sequences that come through where Nemo wants to end with a fireball. The sway just gives him damage and access to the V-bar, and the sway deleting the aerial approach from Nemo. He got a little lost of what he needs to do in this neutral here. There you go, bait it out a little bit, stagger step some of these normals, and get the punishes going. The Batista bomb ender right there. Oh, bad sand, not in my eyes. I got glasses on, my friend.
Oh, bad sand here. He's got the protection, but still the jump out now. Yeah, and I do like Nemo. Man, actually, he was backing up to reassess, but still, okay, does get the standing medium punch conversion. Dashing in and out, but still, the tech is there. John Takeuchi's defense is stellar.
See some offense. V-trigger activation, no-go, V-reversal immediately. Nemo knew what he wanted off that target combo. Ruffian EX activation, can't delay the inevitable. That is Street Fighter V putting in the V-trigger work. Oh, let me see a setup V-reversal again, Nemo. Can you say that distance a trade? No, that's gotta be an input error. Vicious. This is it.
I don't know what that could have possibly been. I'm a little lost for words right now. I think I can't imagine why he would want to go for that. That was so far. Like, I guess he wanted to be creative in terms of anti-airing the pipe, probably, but even so, like that collision would not have been enough. That had to be an error, 100%, considering how far he was. So odd.
Man.
Unfortunate.
That's unfortunate. Now we see John T on match point. Putting the ruffian on, getting that distance and throwing out the fireball. Jumping knee kick has some distance to it too. We've seen that being called out by Up Ruffian before. Stuns rising. Up Ruffian on his wake up. You feel like that today, John T, and finds a finish. Are you kidding me? Is a throw bait? Vicious. What is this young man doing?
He's doing everything. He's looking amazing right now in terms of breaking down what Nemo wants to do. He's counter-poking him well. He's getting rid of the threats of the metallic spheres. But still, this is where Nemo kind of shines, right? That ambiguity and him just pretty much exploding onto the site whenever he so feels like it. That's the only time that's John Takeuchi hasn't been able to suppress, like, or at least take control of the matchup.
About to counter hit on the wake up. Trying to find that neutral jump. Medium kick. No go, though. For the combo activation. It's the Oki off the Ruffian. Tech, Nemo staying alive, not trying to get gripped up.
Ooh,
the whip punish.
Here. Oh, it's the mirror! Now it's going to be a side switch into the critical art immediately from Nemo. Is that going to be... Not enough.
Ooh.
And just so far away. I love that from Nemo. Nice and easy getting the throw bait punish against John Takeuchi.
Very expensive win. John T's got a lot of bar, and this round starting to be even more difficult because you have to worry about the EX Zonk coming through. Or the EX Fireballs that have been the lockdown. There's the EX Zonk, no neutral November maybe coming through with it. Great advancing tool. Plus your plus on block.
True, very true.
Nemo with the sweep.
Oh! Yeah, just outside of range for the coral quick. Oh, that's great! John Takeuchi overextending, going for the EX. Now it's all Nemo. No! Still, John Takeuchi finds another way to keep Nemo in the corner. How many EX tackles has this been from Nemo? Now it's going to be suffering the wrath of EX Zonk with plus frames, getting the throw now. The trigger 2 is still on deck for John Takeuchi. But still, here comes the activation up to the toe taps.
Didn't get a full conversion though. This is definitely looking better and better for Nemo. If he can get a conversion, it'll definitely be off of this punish right here, steering clear of these errors. John T breaking down a bit because I feel like if those situations hadn't happened, we might be seeing a quick set. But some of these moments are given, and Nemo's willing to take these. But where the final game will happen like that. We've seen a few errors where he cancels into the EX Ruffian a little bit too often, thinking that he's got the hit. But that's been his demise over and over again. If he can solidify that, it may be looking long for Nemo. Nemo, however, taking advantage of these situations and staying solid.
Up to the point where he actually overextended with that coral kick, did get punished off of it, but still getting a couple of dashes in. John Takeuchi hasn't been active in the neutral as much, and man, the coral kick, the snap, double counter hit now, forward throw, close to stun. The big final fight combo coming in from John Takeuchi. What a time to wake up with that jab, but still Nemo is getting away from the danger and knocking back in EX tackle. Nemo has done a ridiculous job of keeping his approach so hard to keep track of.
You're absolutely right. Ah, man. So we'll talk about Nemo. There's a jump in. Up Ruffian. Can he get out of the situation? V reversal immediately. Checks the dash. You may not pass. No cancel right there. And again, the V reversal trying to build up that gray bar. This is one-touch situation for Nemo if he can get going. One good EX chariot tackle will definitely seal the deal, or a good fireball. Sets it right at him. In a dash up crouch ready kick to do it. Nemo with the approach. One thing I wanted to point out was how good he is in shifting where he's at with his button, sometimes dashing in instead of staying at these spaces where we see easy whip punches come through. Now he's on set point.
I think you're absolutely right. Being able to shift from defense to offense and still keeping it ambiguous has been his strength, his biggest opener, really, against John Takeuchi. And look at this, just picking apart the young man's defense. You cannot escape the corner, especially with that much space for him to react.
Didn't find the counter hit. That would have been it.
Activation off of the roundhouse. Here comes John Takeuchi back dashing out. Back in there with the elbow. And Nemo taking it down 3-2 with the utmost confidence. My man took off his headset and he's like, hold that. The look on his face was, hold that. That's what it felt like. This man was mad confident in the ability to pick apart John Takeuchi. Nemo scoring big for his team, finding the redemption arc 3-1 against Camouflage Detonation.
In their run back, coming out on top, Nemo sealing it for his team and doing, yo, the crank again. Hold that, Itazan. Not even a John T. It's like, Itazan, do you see me? You see me now, brother? You weren't even worth me fighting you, and still got the victory for his team. And as he had said, he was feeling confident, and we saw that confidence in his play, especially at the end, shifting where he's standing at, making it hard to read the button presses where he's going to come through. A lot of that got checked at the beginning. It was looking like John T's day easily, but the drops from John T alongside Nemo with that confidence, bringing it back and shifting where he was standing at in terms of the button presses and the variety and the economy of buttons being spent, found the win. That's a 3-1 victory right there for Team Seoul. The sun is shining on him.
Yeah, you prefaced that earlier with the team introduction, right? Definitely shining on Team Seoul. We take a look at the stats, 2 out of 7 in terms of anti-air. Not the greatest, but I'll tell you what, 100% definitely good in terms of invincible reversals coming in hot from Nemo. John Takeuchi, 50% in the department of anti-airs, but how often can you stop this madman, right? 4 out of 8. No invincible reversals. You know, the only one that Cody can possibly manage or possibly have is pretty much wake up critical art. So although John Takeuchi had a very stellar run since the 15th, this is the first time he's been stopped this significantly against the hands of Nemo. Again, Team Seoul overall just having the full-on composure and having their game plan come to fruition. We might see this momentum take them even further as the league progresses, right? It just might be the big turning point to get themselves into the playoffs. Who knows?
We'll see. Get closer and closer to that finale. But these two teams right here are at the bottom, and it's going to be Team Seoul clawing their way up a little bit more. And we're going back to the matches right here. Naumann putting in a big amount of work against Shuto, not able to get anything going. Look at that block right here. The good defense had to hold the throw, but overall, we saw the control that came from Naumann. Standing light kicks and the instant overhead right there, the COVID cut, the V shift, the break to put it back in the corner. We saw a lot of the defense open up from Shuto, and Shuto not able to put on his offense as per usual.
Yeah, again, Naumann just being in full control pretty much the entire match, right? And although it went down to the wire in certain instances, his understanding of the situation, yeah, was too powerful. The stand roundhouse too. We've seen what he does and utilizes his normals with, man, the big stun as well. Naumann does such a fantastic job of making you look foolish. I think his understanding of what the opponent wants to do and what buttons are neutral has been pivotal. And speaking of pivotal, Nishikin being a huge piece in the puzzle, taking down Itazan. This is how it went down, right? Itazan, although making the right reads, I think Nishikin being risk averse right here with the V shift, out of there, and still building up that V gauge afterwards. He's done such a great job of sticking to the game plan of hit and move.
I like the fact that they had something ready. Even though there was a drop, he still stayed steady. We saw Nishikin come back from the brink. I definitely would have dropped my control, like I said before. I would have been done with it, but stayed solid, was able to find the right confirms right there, finally found the super and the walk-up throw to find the finish. Actually, had the block-up ball after that. This was definitely the highlight match. The return of the Mac that is Nemo coming through in the clutch with the Urian pick. We saw John T really start with the fire and the flames at the beginning. No lane, just being really aggressive with some sick conversions. But it's just Nemo outside the distance like that. The neutral jump, reading the situation, reading the activations, and finding the damage on the deck when need be.
John Takeuchi, man, that was so impressive in terms of reading Nemo and what he wanted to do to avoid the whirlwind shot. That was so slick. And I do like Nemo utilizing that V reversal in the smart times where John Takeuchi would want to activate trigger. Like, he played it perfectly, I think, in terms of, you know, the defense and knowing full well when John Takeuchi wanted to activate trigger. But overall, I think this was John Takeuchi's game to win. There were just a couple of slight mishaps, as you mentioned, with that EX Zonk Knuckle, which ended up playing a part against him.
Yeah, a lot of those drops just gave Nemo the victory, and also that lead right there. See the bar used in the wrong kind of way, got. Even some of these EX Zonk situations, like right there, like you were talking about, did lead to victory. The backdash, perfect read, perfect balance right here from Nemo, as all things should be in his mind, to take down John T. I really feel like he had a good balance of offense and defense, and that leads him to victory. That leads him for a win today. And fantastic play. And I'm sure Nemo will be saying something on Twitter. I can't wait. I hope there's an FGC translated for him. If he's on stream right now, I hope they do an FGC translated thing for him, because I definitely want to see what he says about the team. But, you know, big congrats to them to get that win, and we're going to get the home interview, team interview up here in a second. I already can't wait to hear what they're going to say right here. I'm sure he's got some words for Ida-san, even though he didn't play him.
I'd imagine so. It makes sense. I think Nemo would say something along the lines of, you know, we've read their team perfectly. He fell right into our trap. There's nothing that Ida-san can do to stop us now. You can tell just by the look on his face. He's saying something really petty, excuse me, towards Ida-san. But you know, it's all like fun and games, really. And you can see the kind of demeanor immediately change on Nemo. In fact, let's kind of talk about what Nemo is saying. Nemo says he's happy to win, but he's mad at John Takeuchi's command grab that went through. That's fair. That's actually kind of fair. I didn't really see it come through like that, but you know, nothing to really be disappointed at, to be fair.
Dang, I was hoping him spitting some heat against Ida-san. Come on, Nemo. Nemo says it was actually easily predict the away team's lineup so they could prepare well in advance. But again, that's a great thing about Street Fighter League Japan. Y'all can come through in terms of the away and home team, predict what they're going to do, have your matchups ready. We saw Blanca as a secret pick to really seal some more points for the team and get that win with Nishikin. He was like, you were the secret weapon, coming through correct against Ida-san, and again putting a win on the board. A team so out, the sun is shining on them right now as they take away the victory.
Yeah, Nemo definitely gave him the full pep talk. He's like, do you understand why you were put on his team? This is exactly why. Being the team leader that he is. And this is absolutely super dope to see. The e-travel segment that Nemo and Shuto had going wild river rafting, that is something I definitely want to check out for myself. That's going to be debuting on the 4th of December, as well as some of these cool items coming in hot from Street Fighter V Champion Edition, right? There's a really interesting thing to collect. What is that? That's going to be what, Colleen and Yurian? That's actually pretty tight. That's got to be Kawano and Tokido's character, I feel like. That's got to be in collaboration with that team as well, the V6 Plus FAV Rotoz team. It's actually it's the SF5 and Kumamoto travel collaboration merchandise. My mistake, but either way, that's pretty cool. What is that bucket of fish? Actually, we won't even get into that. I wanted to know what that was. But right now, you can get into Street Fighter V, the Champion Edition. As it stands right now, seasons 1 through 4 characters should be available to play, and it's a great time to get in, considering the fact that Luke is coming our way very, very soon. I believe the 29th of November is the perfect time to hop in, or at least get yourself acquainted with Luke, along with the rest of the roster, right? You can see it right here, how many characters have been added in. There has been a ton of diversity. There's been so many characters that are completely viable within the discussion of CPT, top 10, even top 15. Everybody is looking really well polished right now as it stands. A perfect time to hop into the game.
Absolutely, and y'all can hop into some more action when we return after this break. It's going to be FAV Rotoz against Shinobi-ism Gaming. There's going to be some sick action. Vicious, give me your quick thoughts on what you're going to think about what's going to happen after this match.
I think, you know, Shinobi-ism Gaming might actually have the answer against the FAV Rotoz team. We'll see how it plays out, and if it comes to fruition after this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Street Fighter League. immediately going into the next game. This is Street Fighter League Pro-JP with Shinobi-ism Gaming taking on V6 Plus FAV Rotoz, led by the head ninja, my man Momochi, coming in hot with that Akira, who's been doing non-stop streaming to get to the level of Master of Lethal, just like Fujimura, rocking a lot of the Kami instead of the Chun-Li, alongside my man Higuchi, the experienced youth, one of the deadliest guys on the scene, as well as Otani, who's finally got his W not too long ago. This is a brand new Shinobi-ism team, especially with Otani finally getting a W under his wing. They got to be feeling extra confident going up against their matchup against V6 Plus FAV Rotoz.
Definitely need all that confidence because there's a team of killers on the side. Right here, we got the Song's Halberd right here, Sakonoko. Then right behind him is going to be the Eyes of Desperation himself, Ryusei, eyes always open. You see everything, all the frames. Right behind that is going to be the Genius Pro Gamer himself, Tokido, well-versed in the science of beatdowns. And last but not least is going to be Big Papa Bonchan, the executioner of justice himself, always serious with it, always stylistic. Let's see what it do in this matchup. Last time they met up, it was FAV Rotoz that came away with the victory. There was a 3-1 on the side of FAV Rotoz. Tokido Urian Boxer beat Higuchi Guile. Fujimura's Kami beat Bonchan's Karen. And then Sakonoko beat his Manat beat Momochi's Akira. So, we're going to see something different when we have everything changed up in terms of the away and the home team being switched. I'm curious if we're going to see some different matchups in terms of who goes up against what. I feel like if you're on Momochi's side, you have to really think about where you're going to put that Kami, because she's going to be such an important piece to deal with the Urians on the other side of the screen.
Yeah, it really does depend on what the formation is going to be like. We see the scores from the previous interaction, right? We just talked about that not too long ago. So, being in the away position now for Shinobi-ism Gaming, I don't think they're going to have that chance again to really be able to counter against the Urian, right? Because they're going to be stuck in their ways. They have to put it out first. And it seems like Fujimura is going to be the anchor. Prior to that, Mochi with Akira in the middle match. And Higuchi coming up first with Bison? Word?
That's curious.
Right, we'll take that. We'll definitely take that. The Bison pick coming in from Higuchi, a very interesting choice. I personally have not seen that ever, really, ever. But you kind of highlighted a point with Kami kind of stopping the Urians. The two Urians that play are Tokido and Ryusei. I'd imagine right now, since they're in full control of putting up somebody or putting up anybody in certain orders, I think it might not be Ryusei. I think he's benched. Either that or he's not going first. I can't tell. But Ryusei definitely eager to go first. You can see it in his face. But his immediate reaction tells me he's benched. Oh, it's going to be Tokido instead. All right. He's taking his spot. He is on the bench. Oh, no.
Ryusei's face, he's like, nah, dog. Man's like, he hurt. That hit his soul. That hit him inside himself right there. That's unfortunate. But Tokido going up first against the Bison pick from Higuchi.
You hate to see it, man. You hate to see it. Eyes of desperation grow wider and wider, man. He's just looking at it like, what? Like, his eyes popped out of his sockets, to be honest with you. You saw how surprised he was. And he was like, oh, I'm not going first? Okay, that's fine. Wait, I'm benched?
I don't even get to play? A lot of wins on the side of Tokido. A lot of wins on the side of Higuchi also. This I'm so curious about. Chad be telling me that Higuchi had played Bison in Season 1 and Season 2. I wonder if he's played this character like in recent days, like gotten it ready against someone like Tokido, because I feel like if you haven't played a character like this in a while, especially with the changes and stuff like that, you've dropped them, you have to put in time to really make this character stable. You know, you got B-Shift, obviously it helps out for the defense, but you know, they definitely added some good stuff with the light kick me in 3 frames and things like that. Also with that new V-Trigger 2, that's really great with the Psycho Crush and the command grab, but do you have the tech, the sauce to deliver and take down Tokido.
Yeah, so I mean, chat saying that, you know, him playing Dictator from season 1 and 2, like how relevant is that though, in terms of how much the meta has shifted in terms of how Bison was played? I don't know how relevant it is to say whether or not Higuchi is going to be playing that same kind of style, right? I think what it is now, like Tokido still highlighting the fact that Higuchi is practicing this Bison is going to be like a whole different story. It's going to be like a whole different change. Like he has to pretty much break down the basics again. He has to pretty much abandon the ways that he played this Bison in previous seasons because of how he's been playing Guile since then. So even though he played him before in season 1 and 2, it's just a whole different way of piloting this character considering his changes in season 5.
Maybe it's the fact that, you know, the last time they run into each other, Tokido had the boxer pick to beat Higuchi. So I feel like you have something different on the deck, but Tokido wanted to make that run back happen. Sakuroko says Ryusei Tokido are always very focused when they play the game. And that's, again, going back to the trivia of what they like about each other on the team. So that's really good that they like the fact that they're always very focused when they play. They're always, you know, steadfast. I mean, Ryusei always has his eyes open, so I feel like it always looks like that no matter what. Same with Tokido though, he's always got the murder face. He's got, you know, his game face on. Tokido says that Bonchan is good switching between on and off mood. I wonder if that's, you know, for playful into serious mode, or, you know, maybe that's just like being able to relax and then, you know, tense up. I'm not sure what that means, but able to switch it on and off, I guess.
It's exactly what you think it is, right? Being able to get into that gaming mode and get into that extreme focus. I think Bonchan does an excellent job of that, right? He can be a little whimsical. He does show his character from time to time, but when it comes to actual gameplay, he is all serious business, and he does that very consistently. Tokido mentioning that is kind of funny because I think Tokido's the same kind of way. Like he'll show bits of his character and immediately going into the murder face stance, right? And speaking of Bonchan too, he says he likes to play the game, but for some reason, the thing that he envies the most is that Sako is even more obsessed when he's playing the game. He kind of wants to know what's going on in Sako's brain when it comes to dissecting Street Fighter the way that he does. And for those that are not in the know, this man, Sakuroko, has been a lab monster for years. Lab monster, execution god, no sarcasm. Check out how he played various versions of Street Fighter as well as other Capcom fighting games. This man has been a vampire savior fiend for years. And that requires pretty solid execution overall. So again, Sakuroko, just the way that his mind works, it's one of a genius when it comes to fighting games. And it's exactly what Bonchan had highlighted, you know, Sakuroko being obsessed with fighting games and being able to break it down at the caliber that he does. It's something to be quite envious about, honestly.
Let's see how the young brain of Higuchi has broken down this character for Dictator. I feel like, you know, if Tokido's recognizing that his Dictator is strong, he's been watching him train, and he thinks it's going to be a fun match, there must be something behind Higuchi's Dictator. There must be something behind it and trying to stay fine. That is a sick silver costume right there. What costume is that? Let me find out. You picked that up. I think that's one of the DLC, right?
I think so. I do believe so, yeah. So we'll see how it plays out, right? Tokido has had a fantastic record against Higuchi from their last matchup. On top of that, Tokido has been pretty much the top of the charts. Can he accumulate himself another W on the board, or will Higuchi stop his current reign of victory with this Bison? And already doing a fantastic job, right? A very well-spaced scissor kick, getting that standing right kick, and interruption against Tokido as well.
Easy absorption right there, sends it right back in the same day delivery. And you gotta do that so you can allow yourself to get more of those fireballs absorbed. Like, you want to send it out damn near immediately, unless you're gonna use it for a combo for V-trigger and stuff like that. It's good to get that right back out there. Nice conversion right there off the mediums. EX plus frames, immediate backdash from Tokido. All these fireballs are getting absorbed. It's giving him V-bar. Get V-trigger real soon.
Oh my god, the punish on the dash! Tokido using the mirror in unorthodox ways, and a great way to get a punish. Man, even though it didn't lead to so much damage or that much damage, I will say that was super sick. That was so creative, but still, Higuchi managing to get the first round.
Staying stable in the face of, you know, Tokido's amazing activations, just playing the neutral a little bit better. We see him dealing with those mediums and push Tokido in the corner, making him eat all this health. And Tokido not able to play the fireball game is unfortunate. As soon as I say that, he is landing the hits and finds a light into the head, but immediately in the Batista bomb throw, charging up the fireballs to make the timing a little bit different for Higuchi to not get those absorptions. Fierce knockdown ends with the EX. What's a hard knockdown? Try to get the cross up, no go though.
Looking a lot different this round. So get the activation. Yes, sir. A full conversion afterwards. Higuchi. What? Tokido with the confirm off the carry tackle raw? This man is ridiculous. Looking so clean. That was actually quite ridiculous.
I like to see players jump back. You know, I feel like, you know, if you're Bison, you're doing scissor kick and things like that, a good jump back, medium kick, or just jump back into a light when you're outside the distance to find a punish against the, you know, advancing normals of this character or advancing specials is perfect. Tokido, Higuchi, all even out. It's a hard knockdown right there. Avoids the throw. Back to neutral we go.
You can see him throwing out or flailing out the standing heavy punch, right? He's trying to catch Higuchi moving forward or any of the limbs that move forward that you were talking about earlier. And right now, that the space that Higuchi's playing at, he's still trying to get scissor kicks as a way to close the gap. That's the one right there, plus frames afterwards. But Tokido backed off correctly with that backdash. Oh my god, the big throw bait as well. Reset. Tokido. Not enough to keep Higuchi in check. You know, I mixed up the names earlier. I said Tokido and Higuchi at the same time. I said Takeuchi, but either way, the trigger activation now. What a time to tech, and the bomb as well, not going off correctly to get Tokido off guard.
Just too easy on these reads. How many times? Plus frames, hold this. The finesse and bless once again from Tokido on the shitty situation. The throw tech, I should say. And again, those jump backs have been absolutely money. I feel like if you're a Bison player, at some points you start to tunnel vision a little bit, like you're trying to get in. You can't dash in. We saw what happens if you dash. You may not pass with that feature in front of your face. That we've seen that as a punish. Tokido has been jumping back so many times in these situations where Higuchi is out of health and he knows that he's rushing to get in. Higuchi got to calm down. Is one on the board. Game point, Tokido.
We're seeing the respect being played out. The scissor kick coming from Higuchi, still masking up the charges. Damn, that reached all the way from the back! Ooh. I feel like Tokido didn't even know what side he landed on because of the fact that the roundhouse landed from Higuchi. And I like it, the Psycho Axe catching the crush counter against Tokido. The stun is going to be enough. He actually almost had the stun, but still Tokido escaping death just narrowly. Does have that activation from the mirror. Nothing to do with Higuchi though. Escaping harm just like that.
Backs away, trying to stay out of the danger. Higuchi back in neutral. I like this hit and run style, just trying to stay out of situations like this, but there's no more mirror on the deck. We have all the bar to work with in terms of one good EX to finish it, goes for the break, get some distance. B-shift again, the break. One more situation, one more touch will do it. He can come through with the EX fireball, kind of lock down the neutral, or if he wants to eat scissor knees, toss the fireball, B-skill stock up, the Ignite Thunder, but the trade definitely in favor of Higuchi with all that help to play with. I like this more patient approach from Higuchi to stay away from some of these situations that could put him at the precipice of defeat.
Still trying to interrupt Tokido, trying to find ways to anti-air Higuchi off of the head stomp, but that's the second time around he's traded with him. Actually, no, the second time it just straight up lost, but either way, Higuchi still maintaining that life lead, masking his charges a little bit, but he doesn't have to go in at this point. He's willing to walk Tokido down, but still, I say that, and he jumps right into the elbow.
Should listen to you, Vicious. I'm telling you, dog. These commentators. The exterior tackle puts him in the corner. Was a Batista bomb throw. Not where you want to be if you're Bison. The tech on the delay throw right there. They saw it. Here's the activation. Pain station.
Get the implant. Keeping it plus. Man, that's a lot of chip damage, but here we go. It's all about the mirror now. Tokido does happen to get the throw into it, but no, wake up back throw from Higuchi out of there. No more threat of the mirror. Slight life lead in favor of Tokido though. Higuchi, if he gets any solid hit, actually he could do. Oh, what did he do? What did he do?
I think he did Crouch Fierce. I think he did crouch fierce. I think he tried to react to an anti-air, like any needs, but I think he might have got hit with the crouching fierce right there. Only anti-air I could really think of that he might want to use in that situation. Now Tokido on set point.
Missed it. I didn't even see if there was like a counter hit or not. I was just so dumbfounded first. Man, now I gotta look back at it. But Higuchi still, yeah, plus frames after EX scissor kick, exactly what he's looking for against Tokido. Still a lot of damage being taken even via chip. And even the scissor kick comes in time to time. Higuchi getting a couple of them in there, doing his rounds against Tokido, getting that chip damage.
Ooh, whips out the fear. I like how he's using the standing fierce, right? Whip out a button, you're gonna get got. Easy on the recovery. We see Tokido kind of challenge that preemptively, but still good at a lot of distances like this. Here's the activation. V reversal, we out of there. The defense on the deck. EX coming through. One more touch to seal you. Crouch fierce. I lied. That's a big boy, but that medium kick will do it. Higuchi, is this his secret weapon against Tokido? Last time it was the boxer from Tokido. This time, though, Higuchi says, let me pull out the bison.
You might be right. I think, seeing the way that he's been playing, as patient as he is, and changing up his playstyles at a moment's notice, I think this is a very confident Bison coming in from Higuchi. But now we're going back into the lobby. I'm kind of curious to see whether or not Tokido would actually change up the character. I'd imagine he'd want to utilize something like a change in V skill, more so than a full-on character change.
V skill 2 isn't bad, but I don't see many opportunities to be used. We see the fast-paced, EX scissor kicks come through the neutral to stop that approach. I feel like if you use V skill 1, you could be better at least on the anti situations with Urien, and plus I feel like you could stop some of these sequences, some of the fake streams that Higuchi might be wanting to throw out. However, it might be just walking Higuchi down a little bit more and staying out of the corner. Easier said than done, obviously, against Bison. But having better round starts, we see what happens when Higuchi's broken down. Once they reverse the situation, you break it down against him. Let's see what he do to get that win. Back at it again with the Urien, not going to switch to anything separate. Man, the switch to Bison. Is this it, Higuchi?
Maybe. Quite possibly. We'll see how it plays out. I want to see it go down to the wire. Back throw now, catching Higuchi off with the teleport, or excuse me, the dash forward. So we see the fireball coming in from Tokido.
Exactly. Well, the fireball's close range is actually not the worst idea. It's really hard to react to. EX getting a little bit more aerial with it.
He's still trying to dash his way in. Tokido playing the lane game, getting that lead and running away with it. Time for that activation from Higuchi, just harassing Tokido, getting a lot of gray life, actually a decent amount of damage off of that stray standing light kick. Oh, he tried to walk up and get the command grab just too far out there, and just a safe jump, just hitting Higuchi wrong.
That'll make him fall. Tokido on set point. And we talked about how it's so important to get that lead. I feel like he had that lead the entire time and ran with it, but here we go. Higuchi's got him caught up in the corner, using a lot more of the EX bar to lock down the neutral scissor kick, max distance. Couldn't find the anti right there. Actually found the jump out on the heavy kick. Recovered on that, landed him a punish. V reversal, offensive style, puts him in the corner.
It's still stuck right now. Higuchi's still maintaining the life lead. I like the swing from standing heavy punch, just trying to walk himself out of the corner. Tokido doing whatever he can to maintain it. Maybe walk in and out of that range, and still got the throw bait. Counter hit conversion now from Tokido. Oh, he didn't get to stop the V reversal from Higuchi, but throws out a V reversal of his own. Forward throw now. Tokido actually has a chance to seal it here.
He's got to do it. I feel like you spent all this V bar just to get the job done. You're not going to be able to get the trigger. One more touch, one more tap, we'll seal it. EX Fireball, don't press a dang button. V reversal, get the distance. Higuchi laying on his own EX Fireball in the neutral approach right here. Tokido's got not that much to fear. Bison at max range, easy to deal with. The dash and gets the win. Tokido on the fast lane.
To confirm on this man, he stole the base away from Higuchi with a crouching light kick. Got a full conversion from the counter hit into crouching medium punch. This guy is insane. Tokido with the hit confirm to take it down 2-1 against Higuchi again. Again.
Dang, I thought the Bison pick was going to be it. I got to give Higuchi credit. That was definitely a real Bison, but it wasn't real enough to take the win from someone like Tokido. He formulated a different game plan, a lot more of the aerial approach, and using the V-bar for V-reversal instead of just waiting for V-trigger, which wasn't always getting the job done. So smart with it. I see Tokido. I like that he's using that V-bar in different kind of ways. I feel like a lot of Urian players stick with just V-trigger, just pop that to find the comeback, but Tokido's neutral. Absolutely immaculate. Maybe not so immaculate on the bust out situations right there. Didn't get those. Did get 5 out of 7 anti-airs right there. On the side of Higuchi, 5 out of 10 anti-airs right there. Not always clean with it, but that's Bison's lifestyle. Crouch Fierce doesn't always reach. When it did, it definitely did some damage though.
And we get to see Tokido continue on his win streak. He has, I think, 12 points overall now. Still at the top of the leaderboards in terms of the most wins in the league, right? You'd imagine with a record like that, they'd be at the top of the boards, but as it stands right now, they're still in second. And Tokido actually was the one that took down the preseason tournament. So he even had points before the league even started for the rest of these teams, right? He has the most points accumulated in total. I think it should be 12 total, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong, but either way, he has the most points. Moving on, Momochi bringing up that Akira in second place, or excuse me, in the second match. I'd imagine someone like Sakonoko would want to go up next, saving Bonchan for last.
Sako did beat his Akira last time, so it could be a similar situation. This could go either way, because I also feel like Saga can do a decent amount of damage against his character. She definitely has to read the room when it comes to heavy kick DP or heavy punch DPs. I mean, she's got the range for it. But overall, the neutrals will be difficult. Don't matter though. Sako coming up again for the rematch to solidify another win for his team with the Manat pick.
I do believe that pretty much means the complete run back has been solidified. Bonchan is going to be sitting at the anchor position to face off against Fujimura's Kami, just like they did in their first interaction. It's just a full-on test of pretty much strength. I mean, it's a test of fortitude too, whether or not their training has come to fruition. It's going to be very interesting to see overall. Sakonoko, going into his part of the discussion, he says he only won against Momochi in the league. And that's actually true. It's quite true. And that was in an anchor match, hence why the win is highlighted in gold. Anytime it's highlighted in gold, that means they were in the anchor position. He would like to end the day again with, he would like to end the day with another win against Momochi. Hopefully he could try to do that. But Momochi's win record looks absolutely clean. What, like 5 Ws out of the 9 times he's played? He's got himself 5 points for his team. Pretty impressive.
Pretty good. Let's see if he can land another one. It's going to be difficult. This matchup we saw last time, it was hard for Akira to really approach. We saw the V-skill come through. The V-skill won Sako with the fireballs to kind of cut through some of the ore pressure, but it wasn't enough against Sakonoko. We're going to have some of the away trivia coming up, but I'm curious to see what Momochi has in store to go up against this character. He can switch if he needs to after the second one, if it leads to that kind of situation. But I feel like, if you've been bodied, go back and go to lab, you're going to figure out something, especially with a character that hasn't been out for so long. There's still more juice in the tank. Higuchi says Otani is emotionless and always calm. We're going back to the trivia of what the team members like about each other. Higuchi just talking about how Otani just has a blank face, blank slate, and how that's a great thing. Gonna get a little bit more trivia here, but I like the fact that Otani, as a young age, has the ability to not keep his emotions off, because it can be difficult when you're in such a stressful kind of game. Any game is really stressful in fighting games, but a game like this especially, where you have to control the chaos, is very important. Otani also says that he thinks Higuchi's ability to show his emotions actually is good on the other hand too. So sometimes showing your emotions is good too as well. He said the reverse.
I feel like they're quite the opposite in terms of the emotions shown. I think the commentators were kind of laughing at that as well. Higuchi has been a stone cold killer during his moments in Street Fighter League, and even in CPT. Like, I feel like there's, even after getting into Capcom Cup and we did the post-game interview, man had a straight face the whole time still. But yeah, continuing the discussion of the trivia, Fujimura says Momochi is always calm and hardly nervous. Momochi responds in kind, saying Fujimura always treats his girlfriend very well. That's what I like to see. My man Fujimura out here swooning. He's staying loyal. He ain't about the street fighter life. He is about the street lover life. He's trying to maintain his relationship. I like that. I like that a lot.
That's good. You know, happy significant other, happy luck. You know what I'm saying? Keep that happy. Everybody happy. I love the fact that that he treats his girlfriend good, and that means you know if she's happy and she supports him, that's good. Also probably gives him a boost, while he's playing, like you can do it, in the background and stuff like that. So let's see how it do out here in this match. Sakonoko, Momochi, the run back. It's a 1-2 situation, so it's less time for Momochi to deliberate a game plan. And I also feel like this might work better for Sakonoko in a matchup where he wins. It might be better just kind of get that momentum going and not allow that, I can do this and I can test this out. You don't have time anymore to do that. Back to the Manat versus Akira pick as we saw before. Let's see if the score switches up though.
Yeah, you talked about that V-Skill 1 being used with the enhanced fireball as Akira. That's actually the choice for Momochi again, trying to cut through against maybe like the orbs. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm curious to see what he sees into V-Skill 1.
Like you're gonna be bar for that to even be even more threatening, to get that knockdown and put him in the corner. But Sako has really great innate defense. We've seen it throughout the league. He's been really good about escaping situations that will be real painful. As soon as I say that, gets jump in on 5-piece and puts him in the corner with a throw. Oh, that's punishable though. Not a lot until you got bar though, from Sako's side. Not the worst risk.
Big jump in coming in from Momochi. What a perfect time to use it. Catching the orb as well. But yeah, Sakonoko still with the huge deficit. This is where it gets kind of dicey.
Yeah, we're with the orbs. Dash up, throw with the aggression. And the heavy kick runs right into it. While you were sitting there pondering your orb, I'm out here practicing and finds the finish.
That could have been dangerous because at that range you would have definitely been punished against as Sakonoko. I feel like Sakonoko again just getting caught with some of the normals that Momochi decides to do. Instead, actually going in for an EX elbow, getting caught, walking forward again. Sakonoko.
Yeah, he's fine. Max range on the heavy kick. Those are very mindless, but you have to get that right particular range to make it. No, I wouldn't say safe, but hard to punish. With the crouching kick too, trying to catch the walk in. But didn't find a punch too far for the V-Skill extension. Unfortunate. Gets the knockdown. Oki time. Wake up back though from Sako though. The lockdown. Lifts him off the feet with the orb send.
Oh boy. Couldn't extend the combo fully because of Daigo, but still manages to get the EX elbow and a decent amount of damage, allowing Sakonoko now to get V-Trigger activation. What is going to be the plan on defense if you are Momochi? How do you get around the plethora of orbs? The barrage incoming, EX uppercut, that's a good way to do it for the start. And just like that, Sakonoko, he's too far up there. Even if the orbs come down to trade off against Momochi, it's not going to be in time to stop Momochi from getting the crouching jab in the first place. The punish coming in full force. The first W against Sakonoko. We're already seeing a significant change. Actually, how did that matchup go before? Yeah, so Momochi actually got the W against Sakonoko in their set off the bat, and then Sakonoko made the immediate comeback. So we'll see how it plays out. We only have a couple more games. It's his best of 3. It's a different scenario now.
Like we said before, less time to deliberate what you want to do, but I feel like a lot more aggression has come through on the side of Momochi. A lot more aggression in terms of not stocking up the V-skills and things like that, just relying upon good moments and riding with that momentum. And good defense too. V-shift goes for the break. That's what I'm talking about. Get some great life going, walk him down to the corner. Careful with your button presses though. We've seen that get punished quite a bit. When she's got meter, Manat gets a little bit more dangerous.
And then the orb release again, just picking his spots as to where he would want to place that orb. It is pretty significant in terms of being able to control the pace that Momochi wants to play at. Having these orbs just as a presence, like a threatening presence is what can really, really change up the pace for Sakonoko in his favor.
So you want to change up the pace? He's been placing that orb in the perfect areas. Getting a lot of damage just like that. With the recall, with the B skill. Got the pump, make it jump back. The EX finds a finish. Sako with a lot more controlling situations, not even allowing for that wild play to come through in the clutch at all. No heavy kicks, no EX elbows coming through the neutral. None of that can be done for free. Sako with the challenges consistent.
But again, we talked about the orb placement coming in from Sakonoko. What? Just EX fireball like that, getting the wall bounce as well?
So that corner push as much as possible. Hopefully to later on activate V-trigger, but Sako's still fighting out of the corner, still slugging out here. He's like one of those slugger styles when it comes to Monot play. Willing to play that neutral really great, swing out these buttons, perfect placement, and just rack up the damage.
We're seeing a lot of these interruptions. Momochi hasn't been able to get himself started, not even trying to go for a read on an orb release. And to be fair, Sakonoko hasn't done any really wild orb releases, actually. That's an excellent time of year reversal, getting rid of the threat of Daigo.
Challenge right here.
Oh, again!
Ugh.
Sakonoko with the 2 rounds straight now. He's looking so clean right now in terms of changing up the pace against Momochi.
A lot more active too in the neutral. A lot more with the orb sends out and a lot more deliberation. We saw the EX fireball trying to come through in terms of getting that corner approach. Like, I feel like the game plan is get the EX fireball, put it in the corner, get that V-trigger built up, run the mix. It's not even happening. We saw the V reversal, got that situation. And Sako also spinning EX bar to get more damage instead of just, saying, I'm going to save it for super later on. And now sets him up on game point alongside Momochi.
Low again, a lot more movement coming in from Momochi to kind of bait out maybe the throw attempts from Sakonoko, but he's not going to be falling for it. Does catch the low as well. Here comes Daigo. He tries to get out of the way, and that's going to be fine. Oh, I thought it was going to be fine. Uh-oh.
Wait, hold on now.
He caught the
Might be
low.
right, the challenge of the dash.
Momochi, he's going to be stuck here a little bit. The plethora of almost, and excuse me, plethora of orbs, excuse me on that one.
What's the orb to an XDP? Get some distance, but still, 2 orbs on the deck. Oh, one more touch. He still has one more orb at the ready. What's that activation? Hungry for it, finds it off the medium. Daigo coming through. Just walks away. Look at that, the strut. Right down the sidewalk. You see him walk away from the situation? I ain't a part of that.
I can't believe it, man. Sakonoko in full control yet again for the first round of game number 3. A ton of damage and corner carry coming in from Momochi. Checking with the low, medium kicks, as well as the elbow. I mean, he was buffering after all, but Sakonoko doing a great job of walking himself out of the corner. The anti-air is there. This could be huge still for Momochi. He still has a chance to tie it all up. Sakonoko still swinging away, letting the orbs do the talking, really. Getting the placement and the recall going a couple of times.
Backing off from the situation from the heavy kick, knows it wants the activation too. Trying to stay away from danger. Sako again, that slugger style with that medium range, sending out the orb every so often with the situation. EX sends it right back. Interruption that might have been an EX shoulder. He interrupted it immediately. Sako with solidity.
And quite the standstill, right? So long as Sakonoko keeps throwing out those orbs, it's going to be so tough for Momochi to close the gap. But EX Fireball finds the mark. Pretty much a straight hit against Sakonoko. Just so happened to hit, and here comes Daigo. What's going to be the schmicks? Activation! I like that, using the first 2 orbs to get himself out of dodge. Oh, no way!
Go to the orb into the super situation. Sako seals it. That was so ridiculous to find that one orb to do it. Sako! I can't believe he had the awareness to do that, Vicious. I cannot believe he had the awareness to find that orb hit.
He hated him. He baited him completely. He's done that so many times over, and my man was ready for it. He's ready for it every single time. Even Ryusei is taking it back. He's like, yo, Sakanoku is actually pretty sick.
He nasty. Ooh.
And as it stands, again, another 2-1 victory for the side of the FAV Rotoz team. It's still in a particular, or a certain predicament where Shinobi-ism can still net themselves the draw game towards the end. All things considered, again, Fujimura has to face off against Bonchan in the anchor match. The last time they played, Fujimura actually got the best of them, so we might see that draw actually happen.
Wow. That might actually be the case. That's kind of wild. But though, you know, let me stay on this match real quick because this was sick. Sako doing a sick amount of work in terms of anti-airs right there. 69%. Still, that's higher than the average. So stay really consistent in denying the approach to jump-ins away from Momochi. Also denying a lot of the activations. On the side of bust-outs, though, 2 for 2 on side of Momochi, which was also really good in terms of calculating that. Just couldn't calculate the right way to play in terms of coming through the neutral. Now, as you said, Bonchan coming up against Fujimura. He's got the carry, he's got the Sagat. Sagat kind of difficult, I feel like, especially online where it's a little bit harder to react. So it might be the Karen pick again. But in the first of 3 situation, best of 5, you got more time to shine, you got more time to deliberate. Last time they played was the first of 2, so you have more time to kind of get ready for the machine, prepare for the machine itself.
Right. I think you have a very valid point. I think maybe starting things off with Sagat to test the waters out would be pretty good. But I do like his Karen against Cammy, just overall. I do like the way that he plays his Karen. In fact, he did get the W first against Fujimura in their last exchange. He got the W off of the game in the first part of the set. But now that you mention it, having more games to play with, it opens up opportunities to try out other characters, or at least make the comeback happen after a deficit. So we'll see. It's going to be Bonchan using Karen, but we wouldn't be surprised if he pulled out the Sagat.
He did run that against Hurricane at Rebel Community and against other Karen players too, so he's definitely ready for that matchup. But I feel like stability wise, Karen definitely got a lot more in that situation, and the comeback factor heavy. You see right here, already had an anchor match win and quite a few wins, 5 points on the side of Bonchan. Last time was a loss, looking to have another victory right here. A lot of wins on the side of Fujimura. 2 anchor match victories right there, looking all golden. Bonchan saying he was countered badly when they were on the away team. Now it's only correct if he returns that with the victory. Dang, he said, it's only correct if I come through correct. Let's see if you can do that though, Bonchan. Fujimura is a machine, no longer man anymore, all machine.
I just wonder if he's within the statute of limitations. Is it past the 14-day mark to get any sort of free returns? I think he has to pay some sort of toll to deliver his, or to get his package returned. Honestly, all jokes aside though, I think Fujimura having an immaculate record, only 2 losses under his belt, and it just so happened to be back-to-back losses. But prior to that, he's been looking absolutely clean. You were talking about well-oiled machines. When it comes to Bonchan, Fujimura is also definitely one of those characters to talk about when it comes to playing with maximum efficiency, pretty much maximizing opportunities for lethal. Fujimura is definitely the cat in that discussion. But as it stands right now, again, whole different scenario. Anchor position between Bonchan and Fujimura. Who's gonna get the better half? Here we go.
With a good round start with the spiral arrow. So Bonchan challenges back round, gets a full screen overhead, and that conversion right there off the Fierce. The challenge right back and forth. Both these players run the mediums. Fujimura trying to push Bonchan to the corner and that scammy pressure. Ooh. Wow, the tippy toes.
Off of the medium kick, getting the full conversion yet again. Another set of meaties. Even after the forward throw in the corner, Cammy does happen to get an opportunity to meaty you, and that's so far away. The jump dive kick, EX dive kick. Even Bonchan was like, yo, you're just gonna disregard neutral like that? I know November pretty much gets skipped over by Christmas, but I gotta say, you're playing no neutral November pretty well, Fujimura.
Look at the jab confirm. We're talking about this man beat up the machine off the crouching jab into the spiral arrow. I think that also helps his offense very well. But you're saying, yeah, that's going to be a punishment. Put it on him with a sledgehammer.
I think Bonchan might have slightly walked into that or thrown out a normal that got clipped. But either way, Fujimura cleaning up the mess. Spinning the bar again, a lot of scaling involved. Don't get thrown, and he knew it. Bonchan could not afford anything at that point in time. Credit has not been dispersed after his returns. I'm telling you, man, you have to wait a couple of days to get that credit back in your balance. But if you're past the statute of limitations, my man Fujimura is going to make sure you hold that. No returns here.
Sorry. You buy it, you walk out with it, don't come back with it. Fujimura just real dominant in the neutral. After that the second round just showed me a lot of what Fujimura wants to do. The walk-in pressure, the buffers of the light, and the spiral arrows. Always going for those confirms that put Bonchan in the corner like this and enacting that pressure. That's so hard to deal with. Even if you're carrying, you got this good ground game that can put on the pressure. We haven't seen too much of that come through all Fujimura all dang day.
Right. And that was still a ton of green life, and a big confirm there from Fujimura, catching the low with the low medium kick. Full counter hit conversion yet again. Fujimura looking like a machine and maximizing the meter building. Hooligan into the throw. I'm liking Fujimura right now at the pace he's setting against Bonchan. It seems right now Bonchan is feeling a little overwhelmed. Is this going to be enough for Fujimura? Again, the crouching jab into spiral arrow. He's looking so clean.
And he's laying up his normals even more so too. He's still putting on a lot of pressure and updating his template as he goes along. 3 throws in with one more time. Look at the shimmy, no go. But one such situation will seal it. Bonchan trying to fight back the medium kick as a great poke. It's that crouching medium kick from Bonchan. And there's the stun and done. Fujimura with the DP to do it. Fujimura getting into Bonchan.
That is 2 rounds straight. Was that actually 4 rounds straight for the side of Fujimura? That had to be 4 rounds straight, no? Or am I tripping?
I'm not sure.
We'll figure it out. Either way. Yeah, no, Fujimura has been making quick work of Bonchan. He's like, hey man, I'm gonna make sure you get back to your daddy duties sooner than you thought. This guy has been looking immaculate. Fujimura actually looking like the Big Papa right now, sunning Bonchan 2 rounds. It was 4 rounds straight. We have the confirmation from production. Wow. Fujimura running it 4 rounds straight. Can he go for a 6th? In just a blink of an eye, my man is taking down Bonchan's life, and still Bonchan finds a way to fight. But no, wake up crouching medium punch from Fujimura. Do you have no shame? Have you no shame?
Oh, have you no shame, my friend? None at all. It's aggression. He's gonna put. He's working his own plan right here, his own template. Missed the dive kick, side switch, crouch medium kick, no conversion. That would have been super sick though for the chase down. Fujimura can definitely make another round on the board. We see the V-trigger activation on the deck. Bonchan trying to avoid that situation. He's got Bar on his side to play with, but that medium kick has been posing a big threat. Heavy kick activation. Oh, no conversion.
What happened?
What? The drops.
What could it possibly? It had to be a drop. 100%. This is gonna be tough. If Fujimura lands himself a couple more hits and then activation, okay, well, he's gonna go for it after crouching fierce. Very common way to get into that trigger and still pumping away, and that's so tough. How do you even stop that? Is Bonchan gonna just hold on to this meter? I feel like he could have done EX for Senha to stop Fujimura's air approach, but we've seen how inconsistent that can be, and that's gonna be.
Or he can find the buffer.
Oh man. That's as great as that was for Bonchan to get the round. I think the expenditure of meter had to be a little rough. Oh, you talked about that buffer normal, standing medium punch, finding the mark. Bonchan is finding a new gleam or new beacon of hope here.
He sees it. He has a crouch medium kick spiral arrow to catch that walk back, just like that, making Bonchan have to retreat into the corner. Activation of the crouch medium kick. Again, that range that he's been extending at. He's just in and outside. Are you kidding me? He caught the medium kick? Fujimura, this dude cannot be human. He ain't human. He ain't human at all. This dude's a cyborg. He's seeing all the frames.
You're absolutely right. He made the frames. He made the computations for the frame data. He's a cheater.
He's a game shark.
Oh my
Super
god!
situation.
This guy, Fujimura, has the confirms. Laser precision when it comes to his confirms and understanding the situation at hand. Fujimura, again, another situation where it kind of feels a little bad to spend that critical art, but I will say, like, in that situation, if you're Fujimura, it's like, all right, well, I'm Cammy. I can build up my bar just, you know, just doing it again. Already off to a great start.
We do see a lot more aggression. I mean, that's how it plays with Cammy. She's good on the aggression. We do see Bonchan trying to put on the deck. It's just too many normals being thrown out that have caught him off guard, but he puts out his own medium, gets him caught up in the corner. Now if he gets to stay solid on the ground game, he might be able to take this. Again, the buffer to delete the medium kick. Like, how does he know that range is coming through? Bonchan out the turn. Gets the EX on him. Backed off the tick.
And he do it though. He does have full trigger activation, but so does Fujimura. You know, any solid hit into activation could be lights out for both. Oh, and that might just be the one. It's counter hit. Yeah, he gets more than enough, and he has so much bar off of that counter hit. It is so much damage, no matter what the outcome's gonna be. Bonchan on the board.
Swinging back a little bit more on the aggression, even not deterred by these medium kick. Things have been buffered, have been gotten. You see Bonchan, you know, cheering himself a little bit, maybe a little bit happy that he's finally being able to stave off the approach of Fujimura, bringing down the machine. The good thing is, if you are able to find a few confirms here and there with Karen, especially against a character that has a low amount of health like Cammy, you are going to be able to delete that help with the quickness. So that's a good thing on the side of Bonchan. If you find these confirms, you can stay solid, but we've seen Fujimura work through this the defense, and now Bonchan's going with the offense round start with it.
Does get the whiff punish on the stand heavy punch, and now Fujimura is putting in that work, putting Bonchan into this corner actually. The stand medium punch buffer coming in more so from Bonchan, and Fujimura is just trying to walk in that space and force the block and leave it so that he gets his turn back, because Orochi, again, after a block, it is minus. Not punishable, but it is minus. You lose your turn.
Watch me kick DP, one more touch. Actually, two more touches. Now it's definitely one more touch. We'll seal it. Misses the dive kick, but does get the back throw though. Fujimura on set point. Computation's running clean out here. Ooh.
Forward throw, just walks up after a couple of whiff normals from Bonchan. Does get the low forward confirm, and now it's going to be a lot of pressure standing from stand medium punch. Any confirm from Fujimura? No, not quite. That's so ambiguous. Oh, that's so cheating.
I definitely got.
Me too.
If he's skill on him. Whew. Fujimura with a fat lead in health. This could all go away with one good stray. Crouch medium kick would be nice. Sweep off the feet. Gets the activation. Ooh, no confirm, but runs the Reckless Raw.
Oh my god. Bonchan. And that's a great way to seal it, right? At least get that W in the round. With just one bar being spent, not bad at all. Such a powerful start, or at least a powerful rebuttal from Bonchan.
Now getting a lot more optimal. Going back to his old self.
Ooh. I like that.
Caught him looking two on the arm. EX die kick.
Trigger is on deck for Fujimura. That's going to be a big counter hit. Yes, he gets the full conversion off of that. He gets a stand medium punch, stand fierce to follow through after the counter hit. It's so clean. And now, interesting choice. Yeah, that's right. Yo, Bonchan going for the V-reversal instead of saving it for trigger, especially in this situation, kind of tough.
Yeah. Just so afraid of that mix-up that we've seen with the drop, jump over, like the strike throw mix-up. Just wants to stay out of this as soon as possible. Just want to get got. Look at that buffer in. Wish you
critical art. Oh my! It's so tough.
I'm so.
He's looking.
Oh! Bonchan finds his first with the medium.
Trigger is on deck. Fujimura yet again. Activation. The back throw, that was actually perfectly read from Fujimura. Well, what do? You cannot air approach. Bonchan is buffering away. He's getting ready for EX for Senha, just in case Fujimura wants to take to the skies. It just might be the play. 10 seconds left on the clock. Fujimura needs to make it happen very soon. Bonchan! He overcommitted! He got caught! He got caught by the crouching jab, and Fujimura does it again. Takes it down, and we see the draw game between Shinobi-ism and V6 plus FAV Rotoz. The crouching jab you were talking about, St. Cola. The crouching jab paying off dividends with all the investments from Fujimura, with all the meter that he had. Absolutely critical. Big W from Fujimura.
Man, it made him eat his words and then some. That's a 3-1 victory for the side of Fujimura. That crouching jab linking into so many things. The buffers, you know, we saw so many times stay away from meter kick, but the calls to know that he was going to use these buttons at these ranges and have a buffer behind off the lights, ridiculous. I wish we could see stats for how many times that worked out for him at the crouching light. That was super sick. That was a tale of the tapes in terms of this matchup. And Bonchan not able to find the momentum, caught up in the corner. It's a 2-2 right there, a draw. But man, did Fujimura make him fall. 1-3 right here in terms of anti-airs from Bonchan. Perfect anti-air situations in terms of normal anti-airs on the side of Fujimura. No bust outs from either player though. But damn, Fujimura, dog. Even though it was a draw situation, Fujimura definitely feel like Fujimura kind of won it for his team. That dominance and not able to get the victory on the other hand side of things from Bonchan after he kind of came through, that may be a morale impact for later on.
Man, you're not wrong here. I think Shinobi-ism further solidifying themselves within the rank of 2 or 2nd through 5th is pretty good. I should say maybe, I'm curious to see what those points are going to look like after this significant W. I think in general, I think V6 plus FAV Rotoz will still maintain their positioning over Shinobi-ism gaming, right? Between 2nd and 5th. I'm pretty sure they're still ahead of the pack in terms of points outside of that first place slot. So not too bad. Ending in a draw. It's the most you could really ask for in that situation of winning 2 games straight, I guess. It could have been a 4-out, but Fujimura just being that guy to stop everybody. Going into the replay itself, Tokido also showing off a different style of Urian that we haven't seen in comparison to the other ones that play. Really utilizing the EX bar very well too. But Higuchi, speaking of rare things that we've seen, him busting out the Bison against in Season 2.
Definitely been a bit. He definitely showed that he had a Bison, but it was Tokido who's with it. And apparently did his research. He said it was going to be a fun match, so he definitely knew what to do. You see him actually backing away in some of these situations, Higuchi trying to stay lame. But it's when Tokido turned up like volume, started getting a lot more aggressive, getting a lot more using the V-bar also for different situations instead of just V-trigger for V-reversal was also what helped him out. We saw a lot of jump backs too to delete some of the situations that Higuchi wanted to come through with the scissor kicks and things like that, and that confirmed was super sick. Also super sick was this match right here. Sako going up against Akira. We thought there was going to be something different in terms of Akira or Momochi doing something different in terms of like the game plan, which he did.
Right.
Throughout a lot more risky situations and the EXPPs, but it was Sako that came clean in the neutral.
Yeah, I mean, there was something about Sakonoko with his adaptation, right? In terms of letting the orbs do most of the work and picking the right spots to not overcommit, right? I think having the orbs being read by Momochi gave Sakonoko a good amount of data. It's like, all right, well, he's clearly looking for all the orb placements. I'm going to make sure to use it off of like maybe more normals, or if he reacts to orb, I'm going to bait him into thinking he can punish it.
And here we're about to see that sick sequence right there. Look at that. Look at that. Absolutely perfect. Expect nothing less from Sakonoko to be at the ready and prepared. And then this match again showing why this man is more machine than human being. A lot of aggression. Round start with it. 4 perfect straight, or not perfect rounds, whatever, but 4 straight rounds in totality. One over Bonchan. He was starting to find that momentum. We started to see a lot more aggression from him on the ground game and a lot more confirms being, just a lot more confirms on the deck, but also optimization. We saw him not use the bar all the right way, like right here in this play. Use all the bar, a little bit expensive, but got a little more optimization. But man, them hit confirms those I should say buffers off the light. It came through in the clutch for Fujimura multiple times.
Yes. No, without a doubt. But Fujimura again, although he had that 4-round victory, Bonchan was starting to see the light of day, but still there wasn't enough to stop the master of lethal, and what a way to utilize that crouching jab, especially in trigger. Like, you make yourself even that much more dangerous, having the potential to close out big damage off of a light. It's so dangerous, right? I think Fujimura, again, being the master of lethal, that's just definitely an understatement. But overall, having one of the more impressive records of the team, no doubt. No doubt that Fujimura is going to be continuing that kind of pace for Shinobi-ism. Getting that draw, perfect, well done so far from Shinobi-ism Gaming.
Yeah, they don't seem like in bad spirits, even though they got the draw. Like, I feel like they definitely put in a lot of work, and Fujimura really putting in the work against Bonchan, who was trying to prepare for him, has got to be good. It's like, okay, our work on our side, even if they're prepared, we're even more prepared than them. And Fujimura says he's only been thinking about how to win against Bonchan for the past few days. So talk about preparation. Bonchan can talk his side, but Fujimura has been saying he's been thinking about fighting Bonchan for the past few days. Even happy to claim that he sees his name in the soup. He's like, Bonchan, I see him everywhere. I look to the left and the right of the street, I see Bonchan everywhere. He's like, I'm gonna beat this dude. And he found the finish. He's happy to claim that win. Of course, he's got to be elated to find the victory against Bonchan right there. 3-1.
As elated as he can be. He has the little subtle smile that he gives us every so often. But I will say, I mean, like, he's had that kind of focus on his mind for the run back, and to be honest, like, I don't even know if he expected the same kind of results. Like, I don't know. Like, his determination is something else. Like, being that serious about it and being like, you know, I really want to get this run back. He had the W. You know what I'm saying? It's like he wasn't the challenger anymore. He was at the top of the mountain already in terms of the Bonchan matchup. But as he said, he's going to be like, you know, I'm focusing either way, and we could see the amount of preparation he had for Bonchan, getting the W pretty convincingly.
Momochi says that he's expecting the same matchup from the previous time that both teams met. Momochi, Higuchi both wanted their revenge, but didn't work out so well. That's not going to set them, but that's not going to set them down to perform better next. Anyway, speaking of what's coming next, or what we saw at least, 3-1 right here. Seoul versus Detonation in the FAV Rotoz, tying it up with Shinobi-ism Gaming. That's a little bit of a review of what happened. And now we see the points on the screen. Good 8 squad, Shinobi-ism Gaming, FAV Rotoz, Oja Body Star, and Gilgun at the top 5 spots. Seoul, Milodon Beast, and Detonation not switching up too much, but the 2nd to 5th place has been shifted quite a bit.
Okay. Well, you know, one noticeable one is Shinobi-ism Gaming actually taking it over V6 plus FAV Rotoz in terms of the matches won and their current record. Oh boy, that's pretty good. I like that. Shinobi-ism Gaming, if they maintain this position in 2nd place, they're going to be put into the playoffs with the home team advantage. That's going to be pretty important going forward. But as it stands right now, I think a lot of these teams, actually Shinobi-ism Gaming and V6, they're pretty much done for the week. Now it's just up to the rest of them going forward. But as it stands right now, Nagoya Oja Body Star still needs to play, Gyogun needs to play still, Milodon Beast still has their games, as well as, I think, Good 8 Squad needs to play their matches again pretty soon, as we saw Seoul and Detonation play today. Right, but overall, yeah, you can see it from the schedule itself. Milodon Beast going up against Team Gyogu. That's going to be super interesting. Really excited to see that, whether or not Milodon Beast can get some points for themselves. And then after that, it's Nagoya Oja Body Star versus the #1 team in the business, Good 8 Squad.
As a reminder, the stream is coming tomorrow on YouTube, Twitch, and Milodon, Capcom Fighters applicable channel. Make sure you all are tuning in and watching this fantastic Street Fighter League action coming through. I can't wait to see, especially Oja Body Star taking their shot against the top team. That's going to be fantastic to see. The Milodon Beast also trying to claw their way up. Gilgun being pushed down. Are they going to be able to surpass them? They're going to need a lot of points to do so, and a lot of heavy wins out here to get that victory.
You guys just pretty much saw what transpired between the other teams going on today. Actually, this entire week, right? We're resetting it a little bit. We're going into the 2nd part of episode 11. You guys do not want to miss it. In the meantime, everybody that's been tuning into the States, I do want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and be safe with all your loved ones out there. If you don't have anybody to hang out with, you can hang out with us tomorrow with all of the matches coming through in the morning. From all of us here at our table doing the official English broadcast, we are absolutely ecstatic to bring all of this action to you each and every time. The action will not stop. We'll come back tomorrow with more Street Fighter League Pro-JP. Until then, take care. We'll see you next time.